Buzz about what Cedar Point could be doing to the closed down Top Thrill Dragster has been running rampant, and just last month, Cedar Point got the buzz going even more when they announced that Top Thrill Dragster will return in 2024 with a new formula for thrills. Well, I'm here with yet another video on Dragster to report about more of the changes that may very well be coming to the reimagined coaster. Before we get started, please keep in mind that anything I mention is not confirmed, as it hasn't been publicly announced by Cedar Point or any involved ride manufacturers. But what I can tell you is that this information comes from the same source who told me Dragster would be reimagined by Zamperla, and also that Dragster wouldn't reopen until 2024. Now, of course, Zamperla hasn't been publicly confirmed, but I do report this information to you with the same confidence I've reported any information in my prior videos. Let's start by discussing this recent aerial photo update posted on Reddit. The photos show that all of the concrete platforms of the unload and load stations have been removed, as well as the control booth, but the roof structure on the load station still remains. But most interestingly, there is now a large hole in the ground where the ride's original storage tracks were previously located. Well, I'm here to tell you what this hole is most likely for, and this comes from a reliable source. Get ready, as it's not that exciting. Much of Top Thrill Dragster was built over portions of the lagoon that runs through the center of the park. For its original construction, a large area of the lagoon near the top hat was filled with earth to make way for Dragster, as well as an even larger area of the lagoon where the ride's transfer tracks, brake run, load and unload stations were located. But during large rainstorms, this has led to flooding issues where water easily collects on the midway near the coaster's load station. So to combat this, the large hole will be part of a new drainage system to better direct rainwater into the nearby lagoon and away from the midway. So overall, we're looking at a major utility improvement, but nothing regarding the coaster itself. At least that's what I've been told. But what is much more exciting is what I've heard regarding changes coming to Top Thrill Dragster from a multitude of different sources. And this has to do with the ride itself. If what I'm hearing is true, Top Thrill Dragster will indeed be receiving a layout extension, but probably not how most of you hoped for. It's certainly not what I was hoping for. Now, I haven't heard if new ride elements will be placed after the large top hat, but what we're looking at is a new element placed before the top hat. And let me just clarify that I am not making any of this up, and it comes directly from several reliable sources who have already provided credible information that has proven to be true. The revamped attraction will now stretch further back towards the front of the park to about where the Dragster photo booth is located, circled here. And this will be to make room for some sort of massive vertical spike that may be nearly as tall as the 420-foot tall top hat, or who knows, maybe even taller than the top hat. This large vertical spike will then be accompanied by a swing launch rather than a single straightforward launch. If you're unfamiliar with a swing launch, it's when a roller coaster train makes multiple passes through the same segment of launch track in both the forward and backward direction. And as it valleys back and forth into the launch track, it gradually gains speed until it can climb up and over one of the hills at the end of the launch. Zamperla already advertised that they can do swing launches at speeds up to 81 miles per hour on their 230-foot tall double heart coasters. Personally, a swing launch isn't what I was hoping for, and I wanted to see another standard single launch like Dragster previously had, where trains were accelerated from a standstill to top speed in a single launch. But part of the reason for this may be to further differentiate the new experience from what it previously was, especially since a launch powered by linear synchronous motors, or LSMs, will guaranteed provide a less powerful acceleration rate than the ride's original hydraulic launch system. So rather than debut the ride with a less impressive acceleration statistic, this move will help to extend the ride's infamously short ride duration, as well as add another jaw-dropping aspect of the coaster, which would be the massive vertical spike nearly as tall as the top hat, or maybe even taller. After all, Top Thrill Dragster has always been a showcase attraction, and adding something like this will certainly grab the attention of the masses. This is just my speculation, but the park could build a spike taller than King Nakat's Six Flags Great Adventure, which stands at 456 feet tall and is the world's tallest roller coaster. If the park were to do that, that would certainly go against how the park has considered coasters the world's tallest in the past. Cedar Point claimed Millennium Force was the world's tallest in 2000, when it stood 105 feet shorter than Superman the Escape at Six Flags Magic Mountain, and Magnum XL 200 opened as the world's tallest in 1989, even though the ride was 25 feet shorter than Moonsault Scramble at Fuji-Q Highland in Japan, which opened in 1983. I also don't know if the revamped Dragster will feature an airtime hill within the launch like it does in this wonderful concept created by Savage Coasters, but if it's possible, I think that would be ideal. Plus, there's already plenty of swing launching roller coasters with airtime hills already in the their launches. I also don't know if the revamped dragster will feature any kind of layout extension following the top hat, and I personally would not count on this as there isn't much room to expand the layout, and doing so would be very expensive. The new vertical spike on its own will probably cost a huge amount of money, and apparently all of the ride's existing track on the top hat will be replaced with new track, which is even more money. Whether or not that means the profiling on the top hat will change, I'm not sure. But what is cool is I'm hearing with the new swing launch, the revamped attraction will continue to operate with 5-car trains just how Top Thrill Dragster did, but with 10 rows per train instead of only 9. This would bump each train's capacity from 18 to 20 riders, and Zamperla plans to have the ride capable of launching the same number of trains per hour as previously. Top Thrill Dragster could previously launch up to 60 trains an hour, and if the new version still launches 60 trains an hour, we're looking at a new theoretical capacity of 1,200 riders per hour instead of 1,080. Now, I'm not sure if this will be accomplished with a slow-moving transfer track to align trains into the launch track, or a high-speed track switch like the ones that Intamin has been using on their more recent coasters. Probably a pre-launch into a high-speed track switch which leads into the main launch track would be more efficient time-wise, rather than a slow-moving transfer track sliding into the swing launch, as the pre-launch and high-speed track switch would probably help reduce the cycle time of the swing launch. This is important because the duration of the swing launch will most certainly determine the new dragster's rider capacity. A good way to picture this is the next launch cycle will begin once the train ahead clears the top hat. Once that happens, the slow-moving transfer track or high-speed track switch would then switch positions to accept the next train. In this case, a high-speed track switch would be more ideal as it would take less time. And if the next train is given a slight launch and then rolls through the track switch and into the main launch at speed, this would cut down on the overall cycle time of the swing launch, allowing trains to launch more often. So that will do it for this video. As always, I will update you all as I hear more information, and whatever happens in the end, I'm sure the changes made to the new dragster will be incredible. Cedar Point are not usually the ones to disappoint. Be sure to comment below your thoughts on this whole situation, like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to see more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.